The first thing I always do when starting a mix after I've laid down a couple parts is set up a rough balance. So we got all these parts here. As you can see, it's 24 bars long. It's got all kinds of stuff. A couple drum parts. There's a loop in there, etc. So let's go to the mixer and play what this is all about. This is the track where the vocal is on. Should be coming in any second now. There it is. All right. The bass, the piano, there's a couple of effects that I dropped in, and a string. This is my best keyboard performance ever. Oh, there's some automation already. If I shift click one of the soloed tracks, it'll unsolo the rest of the mixer. So anyway, let's go and see how we can maybe build a track from this. I'm not really going to concern myself with the best arrangement ever, just want to show you the basics. And let's start out with this crash cymbal. I think I want to add some pitch automation. Oh, there's still something there. Ah yes, there it is. How about we turn that around? Number 2 is actually alright if it goes down. Again, I just draw the curve with my option key. You know, if I'm close to the automation line, my cursor will change into the curve tool. I'll just click here to place the playhead here. Right, nice. This one, maybe bring it all the way up. And perhaps down again. How about that? Maybe bend this one into a curve again. And the last one, maybe we can leave that as it is. Just double clicking in this beat ruler to start playback. Yeah, you know what? I'll do it anyway. All caution to the wind. Yeah, sounds nice. Alright, so that's it for the crash. Just gonna try and make something clear about this. This is not on the track. It's not well, it is a type of automation, of course, but if I go into the timeline automation, this pitch expression will not show on the track automation. Right? It's actually inside the clip because it's one of the audio expressions. So that's why you don't see it happening in the arrange timeline. Anyway, just wanted to point that out. What else is there? Let's listen to these percussion parts. I'm just going to briefly turn up the level for this. And I think I want to convert this big tom into an audio file. Because as you can see, it's now all MIDI. These are all MIDI notes. But perhaps I can do some interesting things to it when it's turned into an audio file. That gives me a chance to show you the hybrid tracks. And first what I'll do is shorten the clip a little. And how I do that is I bring the cursor to the top half of the clip. And then it'll change into a half bracket cursor. And that allows me to just adjust the length of this clip. See, like that. If I do the same thing at the bottom half of the clip, cursor changes into a loop tool. If I drag it out now to the right, I can see the first loop of the clip appear. And this dotted line that defines the edge of the clip, I can drag that too And that allows me to shorten the clip, but the loop that we just created will follow suit. So that can be a real time saver when editing clips and loops. Like I said, I'm going to shorten the original clip and I'll make a couple copies of it just with the standard option drag. I'm doing this so that I have safety copies of my first clip, because that's the one we're going to turn into an audio clip. The fastest way to do that is from the contextual menu. You can also find this in the edit menu. But if I go to the right click menu, there's bounce in place and bounce. And this latter one will bounce the audio down to a clip and place it onto a new file. I'll show you that first. I'll just click OK. And it's done. There's the new audio track. And this will now play the audio clip with Big Tom. Right, so this is now an audio file. And with this, I can do a couple other things. Maybe I want to slice this into a drum machine. How about that? Let's give that a try. That'll bring us full circle. That'll make a full 360. So I'll have the samples back on my keyboard actually, which makes no sense whatsoever. All right, I admit, but let's give it a try. Now I'll get this little dialogue where I can choose to slice at the onset markers. I could choose beat markers, but we'll keep it at onset markers. And we're going to create 26 slices with this, which will then appear as samples on my keyboard. See, it's already done. We have a new drum machine track with the samples that were in battery a moment ago, and I have them on my keyboard again. But it's all right for the example. Right, let me undo this again, throw this one out. Because what I want to show you too is this here, bounce in place. And usually that is done exactly the way I showed you just now, with a bounce being created on a new track. But do we really want a new track to clutter up our image of the arrangement timeline? I don't think so. So that's probably what the bigwig people thought too, when they came up with the concept of hybrid tracks. Because this here is, of course, a MIDI track. Let's see what happens if I do a bounce in place. So there we have it. It's an audio clip on a MIDI track. Let me go in there. See, so we now have both a MIDI clip and an audio clip living together on one track. I think I should actually turn that back onto track view so we can see them both. And I'll solo the tracks so we can listen if there's any difference between the audio clip and the MIDI clip. There was a little glitch at the end of the audio file because that's where the audio got cut off. But other than that, it's just the same. Right, so what if I now go in here and use the time selection tool to mess things up a little? So how about we go ahead and reverse this particular sample? We just select it and do Command E to separate it from the rest. So we got 3 audio events now. And from the inspector, I can now just reverse this one. Let's see what that sounds like. And the coolest part is that this is all now happening on one hybrid track.